Hello and welcome to the new pastel demonstration video. I am going to complete this video as a watch and then try video. So that means you'll watch all of these steps and once you've seen them, then you'll try. So it's not a follow along. Now we are going to begin with our new pastels and we're gonna come in near the bottom of our paper and we're just gonna kind of make a little twist with our darker purple. And we are gonna just bring these lines out from the edge. So it's kind of like twisting up and over. And we're gonna come in with a light magenta, and you don't have to use these exact same colors, just as long as the dark color is the lighter color. Now we're gonna start there, and I am gonna come in and just using like the pad of my finger, I am just making the tiniest little circles. I'm gonna start up at the light color, and I'm blending up that dark color into that space. So I'm gonna start on that light color, and then I'm blending along that line where the dark color rests. Then I'm gonna come in with my peach color and I'm gonna start making some like rougher bumps. Like I want this to be kind of irregular, kind of fluffy, and I'm going back and forth on these lines to give more pastel. Now what we want to avoid is going like around this space because we want this line to be nice and tight and tidy. So I'm gonna go right on that outside edge and I'm just like setting my finger down and wiggling. And I'm just like pulling that color down into this space. I can kind of bring it down with just like a couple taps with my finger. Now again, watch this step. We're gonna take our finger and put it right on that edge and wiggle. We're not like blending out. We're just setting it down and kind of like using our finger's edge to pull that light color down into our darker spaces. Now you can go through and like add some more depth to your clouds. Like you could add some patches in the front. You can take more time than what I just showed you, but that is just a basic way to make some easy clouds. Now we are gonna come in and add some stars to this space. We're gonna start with our first star. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can really see this here. We are gonna start by making a plus sign, like a lowercase t. Then I'm gonna come in and make an X on the top of it. Then I take a clean finger, set it down, make a little couple circles on top of it, and then I add a bright dot right in the middle. And that's how you get that nice glow for your stars. So let's do that again. I'm gonna try it over here, just a little bit smaller this time. Make a plus sign, then an X over it, wiggle, make a couple circles there, and then add a dot right in the center. So you wanna try a couple different sizes. So let's do a bigger one. We're gonna do a plus sign, X over the top, wiggle, make some circles so you get that nice glow, and then add a dot right in the middle. Now, those are our larger stars. We're gonna try a couple small ones as well. And I want you to add like some clusters. So you're gonna have some that are close and then you'll skip a section. Some that are close and then we'll kind of skip around. Now, what you want to avoid is this little number. We don't want these little Nike swooshes. Like you could go for a shooting star and that could be something that you like intentionally give lines to. You could give a little swipe and like add like that bright spot, maybe give it a little glow. Then you could come back in and like give that a real bright glow and like there's a shooting star. These are not. So let's not use those little Nike swooshes, all right? So we're gonna just hop right back in here and we're gonna add in some very intentional little dots. So I'm like making sure they don't have the double tail. And now I'm gonna just come in and add a couple in the bottom and we've got our little galaxy start. All right, what we're gonna do next is we are going to practice some neon and we're gonna do that just right up on the top here. We're gonna start by taking a piece of the white new pastels and we're just gonna add a thick line. I'm gonna go over it back and forth like 2 or 3 times. Now I'm going to choose a color. Let's see, I've already got this one out, so I'll just add this color on either side of this line. And again, I'm going back and forth, kind of wiggling it along. And now I'm gonna take a finger and I'm only swiping in this direction. And look at that, yes. Oh my gosh, so fun. All right, now let's try a skinnier neon line. We're gonna come in with our charcoal pencil now, and I am going back and forth, just adding a lot of white to this line so that it's not just like an individual skinny little line. We want some pastel kind of layered up on this space. Now let's choose a new color. Maybe I'll try this blue, and I'm gonna add the blue to either side of my line, kind of giving it a lot of back and forth movement. So I've got that solid color right on the outside edge, trying to find a good corner. And then again, I'm just gonna swipe right along that line until it totally blends in. And you are able to come back through for another pass of your white if it started to disappear. You can always just add another little line of white and blend it right back in. So there's our neon. Next, you are going to practice working with a stencil. I've got a book of stencils that you are able to look at for your own group. Every table has all the same sets of stencils. You are going to practice 2. So let's try, I'm gonna add this like kind of going, how do I want this? Ooh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll have this like underneath my neon. Okay, now I am gonna come in with 2 different colors here, and I'm gonna hold this nice and flat, and I'm just like going along the spaces that I can fit this pastel into. And I'm just gonna add the pastel, and I'm really trying to like hold this down as flat as possible. And then I'm gonna come in with my blending brush, and while I'm holding this down, I'm like smudging it into that space. All right, now let's taper this out up here so that it kind of fades away. We don't wanna have any like harsh edges here. And then I'll lift this up, and we've got some of that cool texture. So this is a linier texture, and you can see that it's a little challenging to get it into some smaller spaces. But if you choose something that's a little bit bigger, and you do have to try out 2 different textures, so I'm just gonna pop this one like right down here. I'll probably come in with some different colors, and I'm gonna do like a little maneuver here where I can combine multiple colors within these sections. So this is kind of like a cheetah print style. So I'm adding in 1 color, and then I can come in with a second color as well. And I want you to try this for your second pattern. You should have 1 solid color pattern and 1 that has multiple colors in it. And you can add those multiple colors any way you want. Like if you want to have one side yellow and the other side orange, that's great. Now we're gonna take our blending brush and just very gently, like tapping to fill this in. With our lighter color like yellow, it disappears quite easily. So I am just making sure I don't like brush across this too aggressively, or I might start to make it fade and not be as visible. Now I'll lift that up, blow away the dust, and you can see it leaves those edges. One cool thing is that you are able to come in with an eraser and you can perfect. So if there's like a part that you're like, oh, I didn't mean to fill like the line between this space, then you could come in and erase that section out. Now, next we are going to try out a stencil. So you're going to receive a circle and an opening. I want you to try out with both. So what we're going to do here, maybe I'll put the moon like coming up from behind the clouds. That's kind of cool. So we already have our stars here, and we've kind of got the cloud edge. So maybe I'll just kind of have that fade out to that space. So I'm just gonna come in with some pastel, and I'm adding, gotta hold it nice and steady so you don't go outside of your stencil. And we're just like blending that out with that nice crisp edge. Oh my gosh, look at that moon. Yes, please. Now you can try to blow away your dust. You can also erase any excess that didn't quite leave if you wanted it to. Now, another option is you can take the printout circle, and we're going to take this circle and let's give it a little glow. Maybe, what's a color we haven't used yet? Let's try this minty green. So I'm gonna come in now with just this minty green, and I'm holding this circle down very tightly to my paper. I'm gonna just hold that down and kind of move my hand so I can get this to go all the way around without shifting my circle. I'm gonna just blend around it and move my hand so I can blend around on this side. I wanna get it nice and soft all the way around. Lift that up, and boom, isn't that so cool and interesting? Oh, love it. Now, one more we have to try is to take a piece of printer paper, and you can take any color that you'd like. You should take a piece of scrap paper that you can color on top of, and you're going to fill this in on just one side. You want it to be dark and filled in, and then you want to kind of create a value scale so that we're fading out and getting lighter. Now I'm gonna start on the light side, and I'm gonna work my way down, just using little circles and heavy pressure And we might need another layer for this one. It's a kind of darker color on this piece of printer paper. So I'm gonna come in and just like give myself some more pastel to work with. You can also use a Q-tip or a piece of paper towel to help you do the blending. And it's a little bit solid, like you can see those lines there. So I'm working to help those to disappear. And then I'm just helping this to like fade out to that pink. And we want it to be nice and smooth, so take your time here with your blending to help it be as smooth as possible. I probably could go a little bit longer, but for time's sake, I'll just call it good. And this is something that you are going to choose where you want to glue it down. So maybe for my design, and you can trim it, and I think for mine, I'll probably trim off a little bit of both sides. And let's add in this. I'll just glue like right up here into that space. Kind of interesting. So we've got our little value scale here, and we've got our neon lines, both sizes, 2 stencils, both the circle cutout and its scrap to create a stencil, and then the clouds and some stars to practice. So I hope that that was helpful to see. Now it's your chance to try it. So I hope you have just the best time, and call me over if you need any help. Thanks for watching.